Hello, welcome to Love JAMS. This is Saqib, and you are listening to a very special episode where I'm going to talk to my friend Zsolt Bendel, who is here right now, my guest in Brooklyn. And we are going to talk about something very cool called Cup Zero, which I'm going to actually let Zsolt describe a little bit more than me. So Zsolt, what is Cup Zero? Can you tell me a little bit about it and introduce yourself?
Saqib, thank you so much for having me here, and thank you everyone for tuning in and watching us. First, before I even get to Cup Zero, I just would like to thank you for being such a big champion and supporter of sustainability and championing this in the live events industry. So Cup Zero is a company that was born in about 2 years ago, and basically my business partner and I got together as two avid climbers. We met in the climbing gym, we started talking, and we realized that we both have a mutual interest. We are both extremely interested in sustainability, and started kind of like talking about ideas, what we could do, and that's how Cup Zero was born. And what we actually do is we provide reusable cup systems to events, to festivals, to basically any place or any gathering where there's a large amount of people, where there's alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverages are served, either sold or as an open bar. And instead of using disposable cups, we bring these reusable cups, and then after the event we pick up all the cups that are recovered. We have a washing facility, we take them there, we wash the cups, we sanitize the cups, and then we just keep reusing them at other events. And therefore we try to eliminate the need for disposable cups and try to save all this plastic waste that would otherwise end up in our landfills and our oceans.
So approximately, is there like do you have to give a deposit for the cup? Or like how does that work exactly?
Yes, that's a very good question. And for most events, it works with a deposit system. And the deposit system is basically that as an attendee, you go to an event and you get your drink, and then you pay a refundable deposit or a non-refundable, like a cup charge for your cup, which creates an incentive. It creates a financial, not just a financial, it's a financial incentive for you, that like, oh, I paid $1 or I paid $2 for this cup. Like when I come back for another drink, then I can bring my cup back and I don't have to pay the $2 again. But if I lose my cup or I don't bring my cup back, then I have to pay the $2 again. Beyond the financial incentive, it has a psychological effect, because the moment you place a value on something, the perception is that is valuable. Mm-hmm. When you get your drink in a disposable cup that just comes with the drink, mm-hmm, the perception is that it doesn't have value because I just got it and I just throw it away. When I paid a few dollars for something, then it suddenly, you look at it and like, okay, this cost me some money, so it actually must have some value.
Right.
So it's this combined effect that makes the deposit system so much working, and it works so much better than without using a deposit system. Also, like when it comes to open bars, there are events that like you go and then the drinks are included. We have solutions for that too. And one of the solutions is that when you sell the ticket, you add a couple of dollars to the ticket price, and then when people enter the event, and everyone gets a cup. and you know that you pay the extra money. Or we can have a station when people can rent cups and use those cups, and we have done both these solutions in the past.
That's really cool. I also want to point out, related to your concept about, what you said about value. I remember before the pandemic, this was one of the moments that actually made me realize kind of what you're talking about, is that, so I was at an event and they had plastic cups. This was something that, really blew my mind. So they had plastic cups. I went back to the bartender and I said, hey, can you make me another drink? And he took the cup out of my hand, threw it in the trash, took out a new cup, and made a drink in that. And I was like, dude, why the fuck did you do that? Why would you do that? It's the same cup. He's like, wait, what do you mean? And I always do that. It's dirty. And I was like, but it's dirty with my saliva. It's total, and my fingerprints. Why did you have to throw it out away and create a new cup? And then I noticed that's basically what they were doing all night. So in a party that had even 300 people, they probably went through 900 cups or who knows how many. And there's absolutely zero value on that. And it's crazy that there's also then zero value on the amount of trash that you are creating. That it's just something that's completely okay to do without any thought about the repercussions. And when you go through pretty much every event in New York, and even the street fairs that happen in Manhattan when you're walking down, or pretty much everywhere, there's just, everything is disposable, completely 100% disposable, with the concept that it's okay for us to create this unsustainable amount of trash. It's mind-boggling, really, really mind-boggling. And I think that that's really cool that you are creating this, at least one way to make a difference and stop creating so much of this trash. So I had a couple more questions about that. When you came up with the idea, how many years ago was it that you came up with the idea of Cup Zero? And when you came up with the idea, as you told me, with your climbing partner, how did you guys go about figuring out how to do it and finding the right material? And what were some of the things that went through your mind in searching for a cup that would be sustainable? And then one other question I have to just ask you now, is is there also going to be one day a sustainable plate and other sustainable things that we will be able to have?
So even before answering your questions, I just want to add on to what you were talking about, that you see these massive waste generated at events, and especially when you go to a larger event, like you go to an event, there are 5,000, 10,000 people, and at the end of the event, when everyone leaves, you just see this mountain of plastic bottles, this mountain of plastic cups, and then you look around and you're like, wow, it's an incredible sight. And then you just look at it. And I used to be in the live events industry, and I kept asking that, what is gonna happen with this? And I got the answer, our waste management company, they are just gonna sort it. So as it happens, my business partner, he used to be in commercial waste management. So when we met, I asked him I see all this plastic waste generated. I'm told that it's going to be taken care of, it's sorted, it's recycled. And then he started educating me about it. That's not exactly what is going on. What is going on is that historically about 8% of plastic is recycled. 8%. Think about that number. That's almost nothing. And when it comes to coffee cups, it's even less, because coffee cups, a lot of people think that they are paper. Well, the problem is that they're not just paper, they are lined with plastic. And because of that, because it's a composite material, it's very costly to separate them. So recycling facilities, they just don't deal with it because it's economically not feasible. It's not worth doing it. So the recycling rate of those cups is less than 1%. So like literally, like we are like, if you think about, and it's not just the disposal, like making all these cups takes a lot of energy. It you know, it's we are talking about billions and billions of cups. When it comes to the entire planet, we throw away, I think, 500 trillion of these cups every year, 120 billion in the US every year. That if you put those end to end, those would circle the equator 400 times.
In 1 year?
In 1 year.
Wow.
We throw away 15,000 cups per second in the US. It literally,
Insane.
you can fill up the Yankee Stadium with the cups thrown away every 7 seconds.
Fuck you. Are you serious?
Every 7 seconds.
Wow.
Think about it. Since we started since I just spoke 2 words, 15,000 cups thrown away. And think about, like, we are cutting down all these trees. We are causing massive loss of habitat. We are impacting the environment in major ways. For what? For something that you use for 5 minutes and then you throw it away.
Yeah, that's what I think is really, like, I agree with you, and I don't want to take the mic from you because you're in the middle of something, but like, that's what's so interesting to me also, is because part of our whole like music industry is all about like being so enlightened and so future and so like you know, woke, but then we don't realize this incredible impact that we are having. But I wanted you to continue what you were saying. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to touch upon this because these are the things that when I started kind of digging deeper into, and then I started like really understanding like how massive this problem is. And also some people will talk about, oh yeah, but that's not the biggest problem. Like a recent documentary came out and it highlighted how all the ghost fishing lines in the oceans create the biggest problem. But in that case, like you have to think about this way. Like, I mean, you're a medical professional.
I am.
So let me just like kind of put it in a little bit more in that way. Like, okay, if you have a toothache, if you have a back pain, and then let's say if you have some other issue, like, are you just look at it and say like, oh, my back pain is the worst, so I'm gonna take care of that and ignore the rest?
No, you can't.
No, you're gonna take care of all of that. So it's the same situation when it comes to the environment. You can't just ignore certain things and say, oh, this is the biggest impact. Like, okay, like screw the other ones. No, like someone is there. There are a lot of people who take care of certain issues, and this may not be the biggest issue, but it's still a very important issue.
Right, absolutely. I agree with that. And I mean, one other thing I wanted to point out about the dance floors covered in trash is that, I mean, it also just creates an absolutely terrible vibe and environment when you're like on the dance floor and you're actually stepping inside cups that are full of beer and other random gross shit and cigarette butts. It just actually creates a really gross environment, and that's another thing that I really like about Cup Zero. But I do want to drive that thing home about how, you know, we, on one hand, we say we're so woke and we love the environment and we're so like all about, you know, being in touch with our inner selves and meditating and doing yoga and like all this enlightenment and everything. But then like every event that we do is creating this incredible amount of trash that's actually hurting our planet. And I feel like a lot more people in our music industry need to take a lot more of a step in a positive direction against that, because it is really the opposite of a lot of the artists and the art and the things that we are doing, you know? So thank you for creating this, and thank you for helping us to at least be a little bit more conscious and a little bit less of a shithole. It's very true though, right? Like, it's very true, and I think it's so important. So I had a bunch of questions, but one question specifically that I have, well, two of them actually.
I still haven't answered
your question.
Yeah.
Please answer my question first. Sorry.
Which I kind of remember what it was.
So basically my question was like, how did you come about choosing the exact material and like researching and figuring out the whole concept of like how to make it and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
So
we were there.
So the concept is new in the U.S. It's not new in other parts of the world. When it comes to Europe, when it comes to Australia, and then this concept has been around for a decade, and it has been around and it has become very widespread in recent years. So when we looked at this, we didn't just look at cups. Like because I come from the live events industry, I said, okay, like there's just so much waste generated there. Let's just look at what we can do about it. And then my business partner happened to look at cups before, so we started looking into cups, and luckily we were able to look at other successful models that were implemented in other countries. So then what we did, we said, okay, well, let's see these successful models. Let's see each one of them. Let's see like what are the elements that are successful, what are the elements that are not so successful, and then let's see how the US is different from these other markets, and use those successful elements and tweak them and modify them in a way to adapt them to the US market. And of course, as we started looking at this, one was the cup. Okay, what is the cup made of? And then there's certain requirements for this cup, because when you think about a large scale event, you can't just use any type of cup. Like one aspect that has to be is it goes on the bar, so the cup has to be stackable. The cup has to be lightweight because you're transporting thousands and thousands of cups, and then people are carrying them around. The cups have to be durable. This is actually one thing that we learned very early on. We started with a type of cup that we thought like, oh, this is lightweight, this is very nice. Well, the problem was that it wasn't that durable. So there's quite a few of them that got destroyed during these events. And then we looked again, and then we found the current model that it's a very durable cup. It's almost indestructible. It's the only way you can destroy it is you like literally jump on it and step on it, and you on purpose you want to destroy it. If you just kick it around on the ground, nothing happens to it, like barely any scratches, you can just keep using it. You may ask the question, but why plastic? I mean, we are fighting plastic waste, like why are we using plastic? Well, we looked at a lot of materials, and then it's just plastic, like it has to be cost effective. Like we cannot use a cup that costs more than the deposit, because then one, people would just take them home. We would lose a lot of cups, and then it's just not feasible. Two, it's like we've been looking at stainless steel, which is another option, and we eventually want to get some stainless steel cups because there are some events and then some areas where you can use them. But then also there are certain things is those are just not lightweight. Like, you know, taking 5,000 or 10,000 cups to an event, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that like you have to look at the what the industry calls, or what like kind of the lingo is the life cycle analysis. And the life cycle analysis, it's from the moment the cup was manufactured until the end of the life of the cup. You look at the environmental impact, and then it's plastic is actually has a very low environmental impact if it is reused many times. It has a very harmful environmental impact if it's only used one time. Now, the problem with steel cups is that the manufacturing is a lot more energy it takes a lot more energy, so that energy intensive. So basically what happens is, because there is mining, there's the manufacturing, there's all of that. So in order to equate the environmental impact of a disposable cup, you're using, when it comes to reusable cups, they use more material as well. So when it comes to a plastic cup, you have to use it only 4 to 6 times, and then you're getting a better environmental impact. If you're using a stainless steel cup, then you have to use it like 20, 30, even 40 times. So there's a lot of factors that we need to take into consideration. And at the end of the day, we are like our cups, the damaged cups that we get back, we actually take them to a company that shreds them and then makes them into other products. And that's another reason we chose the polypropylene, that's the plastic that the cups are made of, because beyond the fact that it's heat resistant, it's BPA free, it's the plastic that can be recycled the best. Most plastic, when you want to recycle it downgrades, so you can only make certain products out of it. With polypropylene, you can even make cups again out of them. So we make sure that whatever cup we get back, those get recycled and made into other products. So they are still used. And as we grow, we actually have plans to work to all the waste management companies to recover all the cups that we don't get back, and then either reuse them or take them to the same company where they make other products out of it. So it's, the material is very important, but on the other hand, what is I feel like it's more important is that, like, create a circular economy, create an economy where like things and processes are not designed in a linear way where like, oh, we just make something and then we throw away. Mm-hmm. Like everything is designed in a way that like, yes, we use this, and then when it's the end of the use, then we make something else out of it, and then we keep using it, and then we keep reusing it.
In a funny way, music is kind of like a circular economy, right? Because I find myself remixing old tracks all the time. I had an important question though. So like, on average, how many times is each cup used before it ends up getting recycled into something else?
Yeah, that's another great question. So theoretically, these cups can be used hundreds or thousands of times. Like there's just hard to put a limit on how many times you can use this. Practically, it depends on how many cups are recovered at the event. And if you if you just think in numerical terms, if you recover 90% of the cups and lose 10% of the cups, that means that the cups are used 10 times. If you recover 99% of the cups and you lose only 1%, then the cups are reused 100 times. So our goal is to have these cups, to recover at least like a 95, 97, 98%. So we can reuse them, 30, 40, 50, or even more times. Because as I mentioned earlier, you have to use them at least 4 to 6 times to have a better environmental or a less harmful environmental impact than a disposable cup. So there's a theoretical limit and there's a practical limit, and the practical limit is basically depends on us, depends on the event organizers, the venues, the festivals we work with, and it depends on the attendees as well, because the more responsible they are, the more we can recover.
So I have another question for our viewers who throw parties and do parties in other parts of the country. I'm going to throw out the links and the contact to get in touch with Cup Zero. Very cool that we actually had Cup Zero at the Abracadabra party in Miami. That was really awesome and made me really, really happy. And obviously, I think this is something that we need to make just normal in the music industry, not something that, like this, we should be having this conversation on CNN or something. Because everybody should know about this. It's like this should be in every single industry, like just sports and just movie theaters.
They are gonna call us after this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna drop the contact for Cup Zero in the chat. But something really important that I want to know about is, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've been facing in spreading Cup Zero, and have you been seeing other similar cousins of Cup Zero in the United States lately? One place that I really, really think we fucking need Cup Zero is Tulum, because I feel like the amount of trash that they create there that goes into the ocean is fucking ridiculous. So I would like to know, what are some of the challenges that you've faced in the music industry in spreading Cup Zero, and will we be seeing you in places like LA, San Francisco, Chicago? We've already seen you in Miami and so on soon. Oh, and do you have a cup with you?
Yes.
Oh, can I see
I think I do.
Okay. In case he doesn't, I will throw it on the video.
I don't think I have a cup with our artwork and the logo.
Okay, but I'll put it on
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go on. Anyways, tell me about some of the challenges that you've been facing.
So the challenge is the challenge is one of the biggest challenge that we face is that it's something new. It's something that people and event organizers and people that throw these events and festivals and or run venues, they just don't know about it, or the attendees don't know about it. So we're facing this challenge that it's something that's completely new, and also it's what we are trying to do is we are trying to change habits, and changing a habit is not easy. And then because the habit is that you drink your drink and then you throw away the cup. And then now we're trying to change that habit and trying to tell you that, like, hey, your cup is valuable. This is not just a piece of trash. And then be more responsible and bring your cup back to the bar or the collection point. So this is one of the challenges that we are facing. And as we've been doing more and more events in New York, like I go to a lot of events and I just notice people, and then I've seen that like more and more people just put the cup in their pocket and just like hold in their hand or in their back pocket. So I essentially I see the change of habit, but it's something that happens slower. And then the other issue is of course it's resistance from the industry, because we are introducing something new. And when you've been doing, you've been running that bar, you've been doing the operations for many years, and even though we train the staff, we consult everyone, we customize it, we can offer full operational support, so to minimize that change that is needed to implement our system, there's just resistance. There's just natural resistance to something new that is something unknown. And also, as much as we would like everyone to care about the environment, to care about the planet, at the end of the day, those who don't care about the planet, they are just not going to do it. Even though another very important thing that I haven't mentioned is that our system, and then like the reason the deposit also works is because it generates revenues to the venue. It generates revenues, and it also saves cost, because you don't have to buy all those cups. You also save cost on waste management. And so even though when I go and talk with the venue, talk with an event and tell them like, look, we are bringing you a sustainable solution, you have to do minimal changes, and basically you are going to make a small profit on it too. Some of them are just like, I don't care. It's just I've been doing my way and that's it. But also there are people that are just like really happy about it and want to do it. And what I notice is that when it comes to the attendees, people are just very thankful and very grateful, and they're happy that they're like, okay, there's something finally. You don't have to feel guilty about getting a drink and creating more waste.
Yeah. Oh, where can we see you again? If we have people here who want to get in touch with you, you're pretty much all over the country, right?
Yes, we are based in New York City. Most of our events are in New York City. We had one event in Miami, and we are actually currently in discussion to expand our operation in Miami. And hopefully soon we can expand to other cities. We have some discussions with other cities. There's nothing set in stone yet. It seems like, if anything, Miami is going to be the first place where we expand. But on the other hand, when it comes to festivals or when it comes to larger events, we can service those, because we can just ship the cups and then we can provide the support needed there. And there's enough volume there that we don't have to have a physical presence. Also, festivals tend to happen in outdoor areas.
Yeah.
So we can't really wash right
Yeah.
there. But we have the capacity, we have our process dialed in, that when it comes to a large event, we can service a large event anywhere in the country.
That's fucking incredible. I'm really excited to see what comes with Cup Zero over the coming years, and maybe see a Plate Zero. But I'm also happy to share with you that me and Brian Jensen have been throwing events, and we're going to be throwing a couple events coming up in the next couple of months and years. And obviously, that's not even a question. We are always going to have Cup Zero at our events. I think it's really important that whatever we do in our life, we try to make the world better, and we try to make the world just a better place than when we came there. And I think it's really important what you're doing, and I think it's really, really important the message that you are giving in the music industry, and the hope that you are giving to people. I totally agree with you about feeling guilty. Again, like I was at the Mirage the other night, and I love that place. At the same time, there were moments where I looked on the ground and I just saw like little mountains of trash and plastic, and I felt guilty even though I was not the one drinking.
Yeah.
Like I felt guilty for the earth, and I felt bad for humanity and the music scene and Brooklyn and everybody, because it's not good. And so I want to thank you for spreading this positive energy, and doing this thing that obviously is a lot of work for you, and I'm sure not super profitable, but making the world a better place. And I love you for that, and I'm really proud of you and grateful to call you my friend. And I really hope to see more of Cup Zero in the future, and I know we will. I want to, we are at 32 minutes, so I want to kind of close with your words, and I want to just give you the mic to say whatever you want about whatever you want. And I just want to welcome you as the second guest on Love Jams. It is an interviewing process which I am learning. I'm no Larry King. This is LJN, Love Jams Network. I love it. Anyways, thank you for bearing with me and my terrible interview space. Hopefully this is gonna look really cool when it's on live TV. Thank you for being my guest, and thank you for being here. I love you. Love Jams loves you. I know the chat loves you. I want to just tell everybody in the chat that me and hopefully Zsolt are going to be sticking around to answer all your questions, talk to you more, and give you links. And here, I want to say thank you again, Zsolt Bendel, the founder of Cup Zero. I would like you to close the floor, say whatever you want, as long as you want. We can go longer, as long as we want. Yeah.
I will close it. I don't want people to feel like, oh, I have to listen to this for hours. Thank you, Saqib. It's such an honor to be here and to be with you, and I love you so much too, and I'm so happy that I'm here, and you gave me this opportunity to get the word out, and I just want to thank everyone who's thinking about this, who's trying to do something for the planet, who's trying to do their best. And like you said, let's just think in a way that wherever you are, just leave it in a better shape than you found it. And that's if we just all think like that, then it's just nature. It's just so beautiful, and then we can live a beautiful life on this planet. And all I ask for everyone is just be more responsible, and then to help us, just go at your event, and if you see that it's a disposable club, just tell them hey, why don't you use another system? Why don't you do something about sustainability? And if you're throwing an event, or if you know anyone who would be interested in something like this, just feel free to contact us, and we are here And we are doing this, my business partner Mike Sear and I, we are doing this is a passion project for us. This is not something that we are doing because, oh, we want to get rich. Yeah,
Thank you.
we do this because we feel that like we can do something good, and then hopefully in the future eventually make some money with it as well, and then we can use that and we can provide other systems. And as you said, yeah, plates are coming, like we are actually building currently a reusable coffee cup sharing system that is going to work with a mobile app. We are going to be starting the beta testing at the end of this month. We are gonna like roll it out in New York City, hopefully by the end of the next month.
Nice.
And it's gonna work like you're just borrowing a library book. It's going to free for everyone. You just go to your favorite coffee shop, ask for your coffee in a reusable cup, just scan the QR code with the app so the system knows that you borrowed the cup. You walk around, look up at the participating locations, and then you just drop your cup at any participating coffee shop, and they're going to take care of the washing. You don't have to carry your coffee mug the entire day. You don't have to wash it. You don't have to worry about it. So that's another program. And yeah, plates, balls, like, you know, we are going to attack other disposables as well. And thank you again. I'm very grateful and I'm very happy. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Once again, this is my guest, Zsolt Bendel, the creator of Cup Zero. I'm going to drop all the links in the chat so you guys can check it out and tell your local promoters and event spaces and venues that they need fucking Cup Zero right now. So go in the chat to discuss further. If you have more questions, we will answer them. And thank you so much. I love you, Zsolt. And I love Cup Zero. Always a big supporter of you, and will continue to be. And yeah, drop your questions in the chat for us, and I will see you very shortly on the other side in a place called Plamp House in Seattle. Woo!